Most people never hit their health and fitness goals because they don't actually know what target to aim for. They say they want to get in shape or lose some weight, but that is not a goal. That is more of a wish because it is not specific enough. And it's a wish that will not come true if you don't get more specific. In this video, I'm gonna show you the exact science-based system that we use to help our clients turn vague wishes into measurable results using something called the goal pyramid framework. It's backed by psychology, neuroscience, and real-world results. I've used this exact process to not only achieve great feats of strength, like competing in strongman, competing in powerlifting, but also my own physical transformation of losing over 50 pounds and getting in the best shape of my life. But we've also used it to help countless of other busy professionals improve their body composition, increase their strength in and out of the gym, and regain their confidence in as little as 12 weeks. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to 1. Define a clear North Star vision, the identity, the long-term goal, and the legacy that you wish to leave behind. 2. Set a 12-week target that actually aligns with your personal health and fitness goals that are realistic and attainable. 3. Build the weekly and daily habits that will make your progress and results automatic so you don't have to rely on motivation. And 4. Uncover the real reason why you may have struggled in the past to reach your health and fitness goals. So this time you can get the results and actually get them to stick. All right, let's dive into it. Make sure to grab a notebook and a pen and take some notes. Or if you're one of our clients, make sure to download the worksheet that is within our school community so you can start building your systems towards success today. All right, you guys, what is up? Welcome to the North Star Goal and 12-week target lesson. This is goal setting that's actually going to work for you. So why exactly does this matter? Like I previously mentioned, most people do not fail because they're lazy. They simply fail because they lack clarity. And it is impossible to hit a target that you cannot see, or even worse, a target that you have no idea what it is. Your brain is wired for progress, so it needs a clear definition of what progress looks like. And without clarity, without a clear target, there's no way to really define what your progress looks like. Therefore, motivation starts to fade and your decisions start to feel heavy because it feels like no matter what you're doing, you are not making progress. Again, coming back to the root cause is that you don't even know where the target is. And your habits will start to fall apart, meaning that you never will reach these goals. So once you know exactly what it is you're aiming for, discipline becomes much easier and your confidence starts to skyrocket. And this is because you are actually making progress because you know what progress looks like. So this is the goal pyramid. This is the foundation of seeing the results that you want to see. All right. And we're going to break this down into 4 different categories. At the very top, the primary goal is your vision. This is what I call the North Star. This is your guiding light. And this is going to be tied directly into the identity that you're trying to build and who you're trying to become. All right. If we have inspiration from certain fitness influencers, bodybuilders, athletes, or maybe people, friends that we just admire because they're in great shape, they're healthy, they're strong, they're athletic. This is the identity that we're trying to create in our own personal life as well. This is your North Star. The next section of the pyramid is breaking that North Star down into a 12-week goal. All right. The North Star is long-term. This is the legacy that you live behind. This is what people know you as throughout your life. The long-term goals are 12-week marks that are going to be good milestones to get you closer and closer to that North Star goal. All right. Furthermore, we now need to break down those 12-week goals into weekly habits. And then again, we need to break those weekly habits into the daily habits and routines that are going to get us there. All right. So you notice a trend here. In order to reach the top of the pyramid, we must first start with the foundation, the biggest part, which is the daily habits. These are the consistent actions that are going to make success inevitable, and also the consistent actions or inaction, if you don't do these things, are going to make failure inevitable. They're going to make it impossible to reach your North Star. Because if you fail at these daily habits, the foundation is weak. This is the foundation of the pyramid. And if that foundation crumbles, if it's never solidified, if it's not strong enough, there is no way that you can work your way up this pyramid and reach that North Star. This is why it's so important to start with your daily habits. Every level supports the one above it. If that base collapses or that base is never built, the goal is going to collapse too. It's never going to be reached. So let's talk about the psychology behind it. All right. Your brain, every human brain, loves structure and certainty. This is because of the way that we have grown and evolved as humans. When it knows exactly what winning looks like, it will release dopamine every time you take aligned action. This is called the dopamine reward loop. Dopamine is the hormone, the secretion inside the brain that makes you feel proud, makes you feel good. It's the reward center. So we need to create this dopamine reward loop that allows you to start stacking small wins that are going to create satisfaction and therefore reinforce the positive behavior. This is where it starts. The more clearly you define your goals, the stronger that feedback loop becomes, because you are solidifying what is considered a win, what does deserve a dopamine reward. And you can also understand what doesn't align towards these goals or what's not going to get me to the top of the pyramid. So this pyramid is turning this dopamine reward loop into your system to make it inevitable to reach that vision at the top. It gives it purpose. It gives your habits purpose and allows you to repeat these habits at the bottom that are going to create your foundation through that repetition. So you need to start from the top down. We need to start at the top, define your North Star, and reverse engineer our way down. So your North Star is identity based. Motivation is going to come and go, but identity walks with you forever. This is why you have people like Coach Eric or other people who are really into fitness that no matter the family crises that happen, the work stress, no matter the schedule, the traveling, we are always going to find a gym. We're always going to find a way to get our protein in. We're always going to find a way to get our steps in. And that's because it is a part of our identity. We don't need to rely on motivation any longer. So in order to get to that point where your identity starts to shift, you need to first define the identity that you wish to become and to chase. So who are you becoming? And why does it matter to you? It needs to be identity based. It needs to be anchored into your life and not just make it an aesthetic goal. It is great to have an aesthetic goal. Yes, we all want to look sexy. We all want to feel strong and look good, but you need to have an identity-based North Star to define your progress, to be that guiding light for you. So instead of just saying, I want to lose weight, you need to start saying, I want to be the type of person who is strong and healthy and is a disciplined leader inside and outside of the gym. This needs to be personalized for you. This is simply an example. I'll give you a couple other examples. I want to be the type of person who is healthy, who is active, and is confident in their own skin and feels proud of looking at pictures of themselves. I want to be somebody who competes in powerlifting. I want to be a bodybuilder who is still strong and athletic and cares about their health. It needs to be identity based. All right. Now, these are just a couple examples to give you. I highly recommend that you pause right here for 1 to 2 minutes and write your personal North Star vision. And a little piece of advice for this and moving forward is do not let doubt and perfectionism stop you from doing this. Just write down what comes to your mind. It doesn't need to be perfect. As a prime example, the first time I did this for myself, I literally wrote, I want to be jacked. I want to be a jacked dad. I want to be the dad that walks in the room in the future who's in the best shape. Who leads by example, who is a leader. Write whatever comes to mind. Don't let it hold you back. Pause right here for 1 to 2 minutes. So next is the 12-week target. All right. So now we have our big vision, long-term, 1 or more years. Now we need to start breaking this vision down into smaller chunks that are actually manageable for us to start chasing. All right. Because if we get stuck looking at the guiding light, the North Star for too long, it can become counterproductive. It's almost like using the sun as your North Star. Yes, you can chase the sun and look up every once in a while, but if you sit there and stare at the sun for too long, it's not going to help you. So we need to bring our attention into manageable chunks. So setting your 12-week targets, I'm always going to recommend starting with SMART, the acronym. It needs to be specific, it needs to be measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound. And here, the time-bound is 12 weeks. So a couple examples of realistic 12-week goals that meet these requirements, all right? So I want to be as specific as I can. It needs to be something measurable because I need to know whether I achieve this goal or not. It needs to be attainable and realistic and time-bound. So for fat loss, half a pound up to 2 pounds of weight loss is realistic per week. This means that in a 12-week goal, it is realistic to lose 6 to 24 pounds total. This is going to depend from person to person. Are you a beginner? Are you advanced? How much weight you have to lose? So this range is all realistic. When it comes to muscle gaining, anywhere between 1 to 3 pounds per month for men is realistic. Now for women, anywhere between half a pound to 1.5 pounds per month is realistic. This means that in a 12-week cycle, which is 3 months, you can gain anywhere from 1 to 3 pounds total of muscle mass. For strength gains, for my people that want to hit PRs in the gym, realistic goals is increasing by 5 to 10% on your main lifts. Again, this range is going to depend on how strong you already are. Are you a beginner or not? How advanced you are. All right. And that's 5 to 10% for the whole 12 weeks, not per month. So pause here for 1 to 2 minutes and write your personal 12-week SMART goal. Again, don't let doubt and perfectionism stop you. Just write down what comes to mind and it can be tuned up later on. All right. And I'll give you an example for myself. I'm going into a muscle building phase as I record this. I want to build 2 pounds of muscle in the next 12 weeks. That is my goal. That is my goal, to build 2 pounds of muscle in the next 12 weeks. Awesome. Let's move on. So now we have our vision, long-term goal, our super long-term goal, the legacy, who we want to be, our identity. Then we have the long-term goals, which are 12-week targets. Now we need to break those 12 weeks up into our weekly targets. Again, all we're doing is breaking it down chunk by chunk. So these are the controllable inputs that are going to lead to results. So far, what we've done is set our goals that we want to see in terms of the results that we're going to get, the end product, the output, what comes after I do these things. Now, as we shift into the weekly targets and the daily targets, these are what we call process goals, because this is what you have to do, the actions you need to take, behaviors that if you do them consistently will guarantee that you reach your 12-week target goal and also your vision. All right. So a couple examples of process goals for your weekly targets is training 3 to 5 times per week. This is resistance training. Maybe tracking macros 6 out of the 7 days a week could be my weekly target. I'm going to average 10,000 steps per day for every week. I'm going to review my own progress with weekly check-ins with either my coach or myself. These are all examples of process goals. The main difference is these are all things we have to do. I want to gain 2 pounds of muscle in the next 12 weeks. Well, the only way I'm going to do that is if I go to the gym 5 times a week, if I track my macros 6 times a week, if I get my steps in, if I get my sleep in, and if I review my progress from week to week. These are my inputs, all right? Consistency is a compounding effect. It seems like nothing is happening when you do this for 1 week, maybe even 2 weeks. It feels like nothing's happening. Maybe even 3 weeks, nothing's happening. But it will start to compound exponentially. And you will get amazing results if you are consistent with your process inputs. Pause here for 1 to 2 minutes and go ahead and start writing 3 to 5 weekly habits. If you have more than that, that's fine. Just don't overwhelm yourself and don't let doubt and perfectionism stop you. Now, what I call the micro goals. These are the micro goals, the daily habits. This right here, you guys, is where the magic happens. If you take nothing away from this, is you need to understand that the only way that you are going to reach your North Star vision is by creating the strongest foundation of daily habits. It is the base of the pyramid. It is impossible to build up any further if this is not stable, strong, and consistent. This is the foundation. These micro behaviors are what really create that momentum and is what's going to lead to compounding exponentially long term. Now, the opposite is also true. If you fail to do these things, you are going to go in the opposite direction. Inaction is still action. So you need to choose every day which way you want to compound. These small, consistent actions are what build your new identity through repetition. The same way that the muscle grows through repetition in the gym, your identity becomes stronger, more solidified, and more concrete the more repetition you have with it. This is why daily habits are so important. So a couple examples is drinking 2 liters of water per day. I'm going to go on a 10-minute walk before leaving work or leaving for work every day. I'm going to have 30 grams of protein with my breakfast every day. I'm going to journal for 5 minutes and reflect before bed daily. I'm going to read for 10 minutes. I'm going to do cardio for 15 minutes after my training. Be as specific as you can. So let's pause here. Oh no, I'm sorry. I got ahead of myself. So how do we make these habits actually stick, okay? Writing them down isn't enough. This is not enough. You have to design them into your day. So the key is to make them obvious, make them attractive, make them as easy as you can by reducing friction, and make them satisfying for yourself. All right? So and the best way to do that is remind yourself that every time you do one of these small habits, even though in the moment it feels so small, so silly, this isn't doing anything, you are building the foundation to creating the best health, best physique, best shape of your life, and just the best life in general. Okay? The other thing that you need to do is you need to be specific with your habits. You need to say when, where, and how you will be doing this habit. So we'll use the 2 liters of water daily. That's a great goal to have, but we need to break that down even further. For example, after I make my coffee at 7 a.m., I will drink 20 ounces of water. Before I have my coffee at 7 a.m., I will drink 20 ounces of water. I need to get 10,000 steps in daily, okay? I'm going to wake up and I'm going to take the dogs on a 20-minute walk before I go to work. We need to work out 4 times a week. I'm going to bring my gym bag to work and I'm going to go straight to the gym after work for my training sessions. You need to be specific. The other thing that you can do is something called habit stacking, which is attaching new habits to routines that you already do. So a great example is after I brush my teeth, I will track my macros ahead of time for the day. A really great one that I've had for my clients who like to game is after I log off of work, I'm going to put my walking pad at my desk and I will walk while I play video games. After I meditate for 10 minutes, I will make my coffee and I will have 20 ounces of water. The more specific you can get and the better, the clearer you can get with stacking these habits with something you already do, the stronger the habit will become, the more solidified it will become, the faster you will build the neural pathways in your brain to start building your identity. This is where it starts. Pause for 1 to 2 minutes and write your habits. Write everything that comes to mind and then start prioritizing what will actually get you the closest to your North Star vision. The next thing you want to do, guys, is you want to make friction low. All right. So now that you've written your habits, I want you to take some time to think about this. Sometimes we don't do things simply because they're a little more challenging than they need to be. So a prime example is prepping your gym bag the night before. Set reminders and alarms and keep your environment ready. A lot of times people will skip the gym simply because they don't have their stuff ready, or they forget because they don't have reminders, or they constantly snack on junk food because it's in their environment, in their kitchen all the time. So you need to learn how to make friction low. And another really great thing to lean into the psychological neuroscience aspect of it is use a habit tracker. This is what we have in our training app. So take advantage of it and use it. The more visible you can make your progress and the streaks that you're having, the more dopamine that is released when you do these things. So now you are hacking you're biohacking your system into giving you more dopamine reward. Sorry, I just messed that up, but you're giving yourself more dopamine. More dopamine means that your brain and your body is going to feel more amped up to do these things more often. Start tracking your habits. You can build streaks in our app. The longer the streak, the better. Turn it into a game. Have fun with it. And just make it visible and obvious to yourself every single time you check one of these boxes. Now, the last thing I'll leave you with when it comes to habits is it's never going to be perfect all the time. You will make mistakes. Things will come up at the last minute. Emergencies do happen. And just make your absolute best efforts that if you miss once, you get back on track immediately. Never miss twice in a row. It is better to suck than to miss. So if you already have to miss once and your next day you're like, man, I got to go to the gym, but this is going to suck. I only have 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Go anyways. It is going to be better for your identity that you're building if you show up and you get a crappy workout in rather than skipping twice in a row. Pause here for 1 to 2 minutes and now take some time to rewrite the daily habits that you had and be specific with when and where you're going to be doing them. Start habit stacking. Think through where you can fit these things in. Think through where you can reduce friction and just make these habits your go-to on a daily basis. All right, the next thing is the why ladder. All right, so this is where the logical side of the brain starts to set goals. And the emotional side is what's going to drive your action and execution. So goal setting is all logical side of the brain. But you will not take action unless you have emotional connection and emotional tie with a reason to take action. Because the reality is that losing weight and building muscle is not an easy process. If it was easy, everybody would be in the greatest shape of their life. But that's just simply not true. So you need to ask yourself why, at least minimum 5 times, to reach your personal emotional driver. I want you to revisit your North Star. I want you to revisit your 12-week targets and ask yourself, I want to lose 20 pounds. Well, why do I want to lose 20 pounds? To feel confident in my pictures again. Well, why is that important to me? Because I'm tired of hiding myself and I'm tired of not wanting to take pictures. Well, why am I tired of it? Because I know I'm capable of more. What is your reason why? Why is your North Star important to you? I want you to take the time to find your reason why, the core emotional anchor that's going to help you drive your actions towards what it is you're trying to achieve. Pause here for 1 to 2 minutes and do this 5 whys, the why ladder. And I guarantee that you're going to start tapping to some emotions that you maybe didn't even realize you had. And that's okay. Use that to drive you forward and to take action. All right, so now we have our goals. We have our why. Let's talk about some possible constraints and what we can do about them, what I call counter moves. We cannot avoid obstacles coming up in life. That's literally just life. Life will be throwing things at us that we are unexpected, that we did not plan for, that maybe that just show up. But what I want you to do is try your best to plan for the unexpected anyways and how you can get around them. So you can start listing a top list of things that could potentially derail you. And this is going to depend on person to person. Everyone is different, right? Maybe it's time management. Maybe your work is keeping you very busy. Maybe it's tax season and I'm stressed out my mind. Maybe my sleep is a little poor right now because we have a newborn. Maybe social events and social pressure because it's the holidays or it's the work event or maybe it's even just personal self-doubt. Maybe it's our negative self-talk, right? What it is that you potentially could hold yourself back with. And start listing all of these things. And then I don't want you to just write a bunch of negative stuff out. I want you to write these constraints. And then next to them, I want you to create your counter moves or your personal systems or rules that will help you neutralize and get around these obstacles. Because you can get through them, around them, above them, below them. You will find a way through these obstacles if you plan accordingly. So if, for example, I travel for work every month. If I'm traveling, I'm going to hit the hotel gym every morning before I head to work, and I'm going to double down on my steps. I could take it a step further and say I'm going to prioritize lean meat every time we eat out. All right. If I'm super busy with work, I don't have the time. I'm gonna meal prep my food ahead of time so I don't have to cook every night. I'm gonna track my macros ahead of time so I don't have to do it every meal, every second of the day. And I'm also going to know exactly when I'm going to go to my 3 gym sessions every week. Schedule them, make them non-negotiables. Create your personal counter moves. This structure replaces the extra stress that's going to come from these constraints because you already have some form of a plan. Pause here for 1 to 2 minutes, and I want you to list your top 3 constraints and counter moves. And this is the biggest mindset shift that I want you to walk away from. Your motivation will fade. It does not matter where you are in your journey. I have been doing this for 13 years, and motivation will always come and go. There are more days, it's more often than not, that I do not want to get out of bed, that I do not want to go to the gym, that I do not want to eat healthy. But my identity and my systems guarantee me the results that I have today. So you need to do this for yourself. Every single time, no matter how small it might feel in the moment, that you act in alignment with your goal pyramid, you are casting a vote for the identity, the body, and the life that you want to create. Cast a vote towards this version of you that you're trying to become. It's not about being perfect. It's about staying aligned with your North Star vision and building from the ground up to get there. I'm going to say it again. You do not have to be perfect. And just like a democracy, the more votes wins. So all you have to do is cast more votes towards your goal pyramid, towards your North Star, rather than casting votes towards the unhealthy version of you or the version that you're trying to get rid of. And you will reach that North Star. Focus on building momentum with your daily habits. This needs to be your main priority. This input should be the biggest determining factor of your reward dopamine loop system. You should feel ecstatic about hitting your step goal. You should feel ecstatic about getting your water in, about tracking your macros, about hitting your protein goal. All the things that you're supposed to do every day that feel so minuscule, so micro, so atomic. Take pride in them. Make that your reward center. And the more you do that, the more your results are guaranteed. Because every small win is going to compound into more confidence, into more of a concrete identity with this identity that you're building, which is going to lead to more results. And on top of that, it's going to be sustainable results that will stay with you forever because your identity stays with you forever. So at this point, you should have your pyramid, your North Star vision, your 12-week targets, your weekly targets, and your micro goals are your daily habits. That is the 4 sections of your pyramid, your goal pyramid. You should also have a list of daily habits that you need to start incorporating. You should also have a why ladder, meaning that you have your own personal deep reason why you're even doing this and watching this video and trying to transform and change your health and fitness. And then lastly, you should also have a list of potential constraints in your life, in your job, in your lifestyle, and also some counter moves that you can use to fight against those obstacles, to get through them, to get around them. We're going to go over training, nutrition, recovery, and more specifics on building great habits and breaking bad habits later on. But this right here is the most important lesson that you will learn, because this is where real transformation begins, and this is where your transformation is going to happen. If you haven't finished your worksheet yet, pause the video here one more time before moving on and pressing play. Finish your worksheet and commit to it fully. It does not need to be perfect. You just need to finish it and get through with it. All right. Now, the last thing I'll leave you with is that accountability actually improves and accelerates the results that you will get. Research has shown that public accountability increases your success rates by over 60%, guys. That is a huge percentage. I would do just about anything if I knew it was going to increase my success rates by 60%. So I'm challenging you to commit publicly to your 12-week target and your North Star vision. All right? If you are not a part of the Silverback Strength coaching community and not a client, then what I want you to do is to post your goal on your story or your feed on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, wherever it is that you want to post. And tag Eric B. Lifting and use the hashtag Unleash Your Potential. Actually, for my clients, I challenge y'all to do this too. It's going to feel scary. It's going to feel daunting. Your brain's going to say, well, what if I fail? What if this? What are they going to say? What if? Do it anyways. Because I've just finished telling you that it will, just simple act of doing that will increase your results and your success rate by 60%. To all my clients watching this, post your North Star vision, your 12-week target, and one of your powerful reasons why from your ladder into the school community. Our coaches and the other team members will hold you accountable every step of the way. And that is what the school community is there for. Share it with us so we can hold you accountable. Pause this video and go post your commitments right now. I want to see you guys doing this. I want to see your success rates increase by 60%. Don't forget to tag me if you post on social media, and don't forget to use the hashtag Unleash Your Potential. Now get out there and unleash your full potential. You guys are no different than anyone that you see on this screen, and this is just the people I could fit on here. The only difference is that they went through this and they took action. You are next. I'm so excited to see the progress that you guys make. And if this video helped you get clearer on your goals and you're ready to go all in on them, I'd love to invite you to learn more about our one-on-one coaching program in Silverback Strength. In this program, we help busy professionals unleash their full potential, both physically and mentally, through custom training, personalized nutrition, mindset tactics and frameworks, and one-on-one accountability. Every client gets a plan that fits their lifestyle, weekly one-on-one check-ins, direct coaching from me and my team, and a community of like-minded people who are all trying to grow to make sure that you not only hit your 12-week targets, but completely redefine what you're capable of. So if you're ready to finally stop starting over and build the physique, the strength, the discipline, and the confidence that you've been dreaming of, click the link in the description below to apply for our one-on-one coaching program, or just DM me the word potential on Instagram at Eric B. Lifting. I'll reach out personally, learn more about your goals, and see if my team and I can confidently get you to achieve your goals. Let's make this the year that you unleash your full potential. I'll see you in the next one.